Hello everybody and welcome back to Lawfolds in the best country in the world. Of course it is my home country of Scotland. It's the Lawfolds map in Aberdeenshire, well Grampian, Aberdeenshire. They are actually two separate places, or they were two separate places a long time ago. They're still technically seen as two different places. But I've been doing quite a bit of work off camera, specifically in this little area here. To apologise about clearing my throat. I've just had a drink of coffee and it's not gone down the right hole. But fields 29 and 28 have now both been sprayed, cultivated and of course sprayed again using our slurry tanker, which is filthy now. Nice to see. Turn the speed up a little bit. I was doing it very early in the morning. But I'm not going to bother too much about putting this away because it actually has another job to do in just a second. But for now, you may see it peeking over the wall there. I've bought some new equipment. This does look very nice. I figured big farm like this requires a third tractor. So I went for the John Deere 7280R with wide tyres and a corresponding John Deere seeder. Now, this is a very big seeder. I don't think it's scaled properly because it's huge. It is typically an American themed seeder, which I did kind of want to avoid, but I kind of like the idea of having this tractor be the only one that uses this seeder. And I wanted a seeder that was big enough that, well, I could use it myself without spending days working the fields. So as you can see, yeah, I messed that one up. It's big, this seeder. I do like this tractor though. I've never used this tractor before. It doesn't have interactive controls. It goes quite fast. And yeah, it is quite a nice tractor. Looks like it would support the gearbox add-on. There is an issue with this mod, so you may occasionally see a script error pop up every now and again. It's either with this or the seeder. I don't actually know. But one of the two of them have an issue. Lovely job that the hired worker done for us there. So as you can see, this is a nice big seeder, this one, which is what I was after. Didn't want to go ridiculously big, but I think this is a reasonable size because I mean some of these fields are rather big. I don't know how long this is actually going to take. I'll judge it on how long it's going to take, and I might get a worker to finish things off for us. But this fertilises as it goes as well, so I've already planted field 30. I used the other little seeder for that. There's a bit of an issue with that one. You won't see me use that seeder on this series at all. I may use it for a hired worker. I've not bothered to sell it. I thought it'd be handy if I ever needed to have two seeders on the go at the same time. That would be the one that the hired worker will be using, because it can only hold, now wait for it, pause for drama, 5 litres of fertiliser. It only holds 5 litres. I am wasting most of this seeder here. So I had to hire a worker to use it, and said worker had to purchase seed as they were going. I like how this tractor has the reversing warning beacon, or siren, whatever you want to call it. The little beep, the reversing beeper. I used to have a van that done that. It was a terrible van. This is a nice tractor. And you can only go 9 mile an hour while seeding, which is groundbreaking. It's ridiculously fast. Don't know how I can control it at this speed. To be honest, I'm surprised I can control the track down 90% of the time anyway. But yeah, I thought that, you know, I have a variety of tractors and equipment on this map, so I intend on having quite a long series on this map. I still haven't sorted seasons out. Probably should. It's also worth noting that we made, I think, £16,000 off the sold milk yesterday, or overnight after yesterday's episode. I'm going to pre-record quite a few of these episodes, just simply because I'd like to be about a week ahead on them, because I'd like to release these episodes every single day of the week. I'll probably do another bulk upload of Oakfield Farm very soon and get it out of the way, just as soon as I have, well, it will be 5 episodes of this done. This is obviously episode 2, but I love this map. This is by far my favourite map. I can say that with confidence. I like Gamsting, I like Oakfield Farm, I like the Valley, but this map I love. This is my favourite map. It's maybe not the most fine-tuned, the most picturesque or highly detailed map that you can possibly get, but it's good all the same. What it offers, to me especially, and anyone else who's playing this game who happens to be from Scotland, it's local. It's a real place. It uses real names. I don't know if it's very real. That's probably a bad choice of words. I don't know if it's based on a literal farm, if I'm being honest. But the area that it's based in, or set in, should I say, is a real place. Grampian, Aberdeenshire, they're real places. Not the same place like the map suggests, but they are real places. I was born in Grampian. Spent quite a lot of my life there, in fact. Don't live there now, unfortunately. Other boring life stuff got in the way and I had to move away. But it is still, as far as I know, it's the only Scottish map for the game. If I'm wrong on that, please let me know, because I would like to see any other Scottish map that's out there. But it's nice to have a Scottish map, a proper Scottish map. Although everyone seems to think I'm Irish, I'm in fact Scottish. Might not be the easiest thing to tell, because I have a video personality, if you will. It's not necessarily my everyday voice. It does this field quite quick. I mean, that's what, 2 laps round and most of this field is done. Uses the seed quite quick though. But that's pretty decent. I'm quite happy with this. It was a good purchase. It was an expensive one, but a good one. I think the seeder was actually more expensive than the tractor, which is saying something, because the tractor was, I think, 180 grand or something like that. But definitely worth it. I can see the seeder getting quite a lot of use. I'm going to change things up a little bit here and just U-turn. I do apologise about the clicking noise. If you're wondering what that is actually my steering wheel against the desk. I have a very, very old steering wheel that I use. It's Microsoft Sidewinder. It was originally released for games that ran on Windows XP and Windows 98. Through a bit of trickery, I've managed to make it work with Windows 8, and it works quite well. I have to configure it every other day, but it works quite well. It's just a little bit noisy. It's not quite as fine-tuned as some of these new fancy steering wheels and things like that. I did have a joystick. I was waiting for a part to come for that, a connector piece. That did arrive, and I can't make that one work with Windows 8. It's just, it's too old, unfortunately. Not the end of the road though. I will replace the steering wheel and joystick with new ones at some point. But having a steering wheel is better than no steering wheel. Be nice to get one of the Farming Simulator SATEC steering wheel joystick setups, but if you don't know what they are, you should have a look. You have a look at the Farming Simulator forums and things like that to find out about them. It was released with the collector's edition of FS17, and even to buy them second hand they're like £300 on eBay, which is more than I have for a steering wheel. I'd still like to upgrade my graphics card. I'm running an NVIDIA GTX GeForce 660 or something like that. I can't actually remember. I think it's a 660, maybe a 660 Ti or something, I don't know. But it's a 660 and I'd like to upgrade that to a 1080 Ti or a Titan. Probably just a 1080 for now. Get the Titan in the future when they're maybe out of the £5,000 mark. But back to the game. There's me rambling on about the cost of computer parts. So I've got it on times 15 speed, so I'd like to get through the rest of this day. At some point I'm going to have to go up to the shop in the Manitou and pick up the bucket so I can clean the cows. I need to do that today because the cows are filthy beasts. They're disgustingly dirty. There you go, look at that. Another field planted. I need to get field 28 planted today as well, actually. These are all going to be wheat. Oh, that's the wrong button. All very snazzy stuff. What I'll do, in fact, is I'll just park the tractor up here just now, because we will be using it on this field. I may do that off camera. I may do that at the end of the day. Turn the tractor off. And I'll just quickly... well, no, it's too far to go. Jump into New Holland. So New Holland has a job to do today. A job and a half. I have a very, very large field that needs to be sprayed, or slurry spread, before I seed it. I'm not going to bother to cultivate it because it would take way too long to do that. I'm just going to spray it, seed it, and then spray it again. It will give me a bit of crop destruction, but that's okay. But the field is down near the cow farm. I did want to keep about $500,000 set aside for sheep, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the money I get from the cows to purchase sheep, and use the money I have left to purchase equipment. The 3 tractors I have, I'm happy with. I don't need to change them again, I don't need to buy any more for now. I can have all 3 of them working almost round, well, not round the clock, but I can have them working most of the time. Which I think is a good thing, all on separate jobs. This is basically my designated sprayer tractor. But the big field, I can't remember what it is, I think it's field 24? But it is a massive field, it really is. It's the field I actually used the big bud to plough before I even started recording episode 1. It's that field you just see on the other side of that fence there. If I show you on the map, you can see it's a big field. It's not the biggest field on the map, but it's the biggest field we own. So we need to get that done and out of the way so I can get it seeded. I'll probably seed it off camera because of this, just the sheer size of it. I was going to use time lapses and things in the series, but I don't like them. They bug me greatly. So I can tell you that I'm not using the AI, the vehicle AI extension. I'm not using that on this tractor because, well, vehicle AI kind of sucks on this map for some reason. Not sure why. So obviously he's just buying slurry miraculously out of thin air. It's always a good way to go. So we do need to go and get our scoop from the shop, so please well doing that now. Because if you have a look over here on our way out, look how filthy these cows are. Look at the mess they've made. It's terrible. But the cow health according to the glance mod is 82%. It's not that high. I think it's like 70% if I'm being honest. When you're driving the Manitou in cab, the thing to remember is you're not sitting in the middle. You got another wheel over the other side of that boom there, as you can see. This seems like a safe thing to do. Might as well do that. Don't know why it slows down every time I move this. I'll just put this down. But yeah, I'm going to go heavy on the arable crops this map, really, just because it's something I usually forget to do, and I've not harvested a field in the longest time. I actually miss harvesting fields. We also have the option to do contracts on this map, so we may do one of those at some point. Maybe not, maybe today, maybe not. But we have the option there anyway. Quite a big map. Just large spaces between everything, which I actually like that. I'm going to do a series on a smaller map, probably after I finish the valley. Gamsting has proved to be quite a popular series for me, as in people like that series. I'm kind of in a rut with that one. I like the map, but I made a mistake on it and now I don't want to play it anymore. I spent really way too much money doing something and it turned out to be well, if you haven't watched that series, what I've done is I bought a field, I prepared the field, and then bought a sugar beet planter and pallets of sugar beets, not sugar beets, sugar, oh, what are they called, sugar, oh, can't remember the name of them. The sugar things, can't remember the name of them now. Sugar cane, that's the one. Couldn't think of it there. That was going to bug me all day if I didn't remember that. But yeah, I bought a whole heap of them on pallets, filled the machine. I even bought a tractor specifically for doing the field. And then obviously the field, the map doesn't support sugar canes. So it was a massive waste of money. Almost $250,000 wasted, considering it was a small field and I was planning on getting a few harvests out of it before I had to replant it, which is obviously how sugarcane works. And instead I'm left with a barley field that's not very big. That will never earn me anywhere near that amount of money. So a bit disheartened with that series, but I suppose I kind of have to go back to it. It's just one of those things that sometimes happens in Farm Simulator. Not much can be done about it. But I'd also like to point out, for those of you who haven't already noticed, we are over 100 subscribers on the channel now. At the time of recording this, I'm sitting at 141 subscribers, which I am very stoked about. Very, very happy about that. More than 100 people in the world that is interested in watching this tat that I produce for YouTube. You know, it's a strange feeling knowing that people are watching my videos and enjoying them and interested to see what I do next. It's very unusual, but very humbling. So if you're not already a subscriber, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber, I'd like to thank you very much for your continued support on the channel. I really couldn't do this without your support. Having the subscribers there is obviously the entire purpose of doing YouTube. There's no point making these videos and editing them, and rendering them, making the thumbnails and uploading them for no one to watch them. I know I have some videos out there that aren't very popular. I have some videos out there that are reasonably popular in relation to the amount of subscribers I have. So yeah, just thanks very much. Tell your friends. The more, the better. So this is sort of like the late, unofficial 100 subscriber celebration video. It's nice to see an extra digit on the subscriber count. But for those of you who don't know, I also have a Patreon page. So if subscribing to the channel is something you've already done, and you still want to do more to support the channel, you do have the option of joining my Patreon. I have multiple tiers of reward available, details of which are of course on my Patreon page. If you just search for the simulator YTube, and I use the same logo on Patreon as I do on YouTube, so I shouldn't be too difficult to find on there. And yeah, there's an option for fan club, and of course there will be merchandise coming out very soon, which I'm very excited about as well. If you'd like to make suggestions for what kind of merchandise I could have, then please feel free to leave me a comment, as I've not made a full list of what merchandise will be available. I do know that there will be cups and coasters, t-shirts and all the usual things that will be available, as well as a few surprise things and some exclusive things for my patrons to get that won't be available any other way. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then head over to the Patreon site. Shameless plug over with. We now need to get in the Massey Ferguson and find where I put my plough. I cannot remember where the plough is. There's the plough. It's quite a big plough I've got. A 6-metre plough I think it is. I don't think I've showed this on camera yet, but well, stopping sooner would have probably been the thing to do there. But yeah, this is a nice big 6-metre plough I have. I quite like it. It's a good size. It's John Deere branded as well, because I got a big John Deere mod pack that is very useful. If you're wondering about why this field looks unusual, it's because my hired worker got a little bit confused and decided to partially spray this field. I don't know why, but that's kind of something that happened. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to hire a worker. Don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? Don't do that. I'd rather you go that way. Yeah, because they have to go in certain directions. So I'll just fix anything he leaves at the end. While he's doing that, start up the old smoky John Deere. And we'll get this field done. This field next to it done. Yeah. There's going to be quite a bit for us to do in that field over there. But we'll get this field done. And that'll be 3 fields already planted on day 2. Which is better than I usually do. I usually wait until like the very end of spring to plant anything, and then I only get like maybe 1 field done, which is kind of a waste of time. This time I'm going for heavy crop. I want all of the fields planted with crops and ready to grow. And the other thing I'm going to do different with this series that I sometimes don't always do is there will not be a 2-part episode for a single day. Each day will be a episode. So if I end an episode at 12 o'clock that day, the rest of that day will be done off camera, and the next episode will be the following day. Now the reason for that is because I want the series to be moving a bit more quickly. I'd like a couple of years in, and I think that's the best way to do it. Which way is he deciding to go? So you're going to turn around and go down the little side or the big side? Left quite a lot of that field there actually. And he's going down the big side. That's better than a kick in the teeth with a sweaty welly, I suppose. I'll finish off that field probably when he's finished. Depends how long it takes him. How much he leaves. Probably loads. It's a hired worker. Again, not vehicle AI, just a standard base game hired worker. Because the hired workers get a bit confused. They tend to get confused when ploughing anyway, but they get more confused on this map than is reasonable. He's doing a not bad job there. I mean, that little bit I did at the side seems to have helped him a bit. But this is a bit of a bigger field. It would help if I had all of the cedar on the field, but you know, it's me, so this field in front of us, in case you're wondering, I think is the sheep pasture, and that is a lot of gold nuggets in there. Turns out there is gold nuggets on this map. Got distracted by the shiny things. Look at them all. I might go and collect them off camera. If you come back in the next episode and I randomly have an extra £1 million, that's fine. That's if they're all in there, of course. They might not all be. But the main thing is getting some crops in the ground. We need that. These 3 fields here, maybe even that field as well. Field 31, these ones all will be, probably all be wheat, which is what I'm planting just now. Just simply because it provides straw, which is something I'm going to need. Definitely going to need some straw. And of course it will be baled rather than left loose. I'll probably collect some of it to sell, but most of it will be baled. I'll probably bale almost all of it, in fact. There's a few things I'd like to bale. There's a very large bit of equipment that I'd like to purchase, and I'm not going to give anything away, but it involves bales, and I don't know, I just want it. No other reason than that. I've decided that the farm requires it. I just don't know if I have a tractor powerful enough to operate it. That's the only problem. This tractor is under 300 horsepower. I think the Massey is the same. I think it's under the 300 horsepower mark as well. Or maybe just at 300, I don't know, I'll find out for the next episode. But for the rest of this episode, I think, plant in this field and see how the plough gets on. I don't mind my workers carrying on later into the evening than me. Now the thumbnail for this episode is of course the New Holland with the slurry tanker that I was using at the very start of the episode, and not the John Deere. There's a very good reason for that. And that is that I didn't want people to click on this video just because it's got a picture of a John Deere. So, yeah, if you wanted to watch this video and like John Deere, then yeah, here you go. But if you were only looking for John Deere videos, then, well, this would probably be a good video for you, but still, you should watch my videos anyway, because I put a lot of effort into them. A lot of people don't know that I actually do YouTube as a full-time thing. I spend many hours on YouTube, which is why I get so many videos out at the rate I do. Something I enjoy doing, so I figured all or nothing type situation, and I went all in. Right from the off decided that this was going to be my career as such, and yeah, obviously I don't earn anything from it, but it's not about earning money all the time. It is something I enjoy doing, and if I earn money along the way, then that's just a bonus. But the main thing is that I enjoy what I'm doing and you enjoy watching my content, which seems to be the case most of the time. I wouldn't have gotten to 141 subscribers if some people didn't enjoy watching my content. But there's a bit of a change in the schedule. There'll be a video coming out very soon about that. I'll talk about the schedule change. I'll probably do it on the Valley because I don't have an awful lot of the Valley pre-recorded, so it'll come out probably before this video. So if that's the case, then you already know about the schedule change and everything's all peachy on that front. And if not, then, well, a thing happened. Speaking of the Valley, I actually found out today that episode 15 has gone missing. Yeah, I can't find it anywhere. I have all the episodes up to episode 15. I have episode 1 to 14 already on YouTube at this current point I'm recording this. And I have episode 16 and 17 already rendered, ready to upload. But there is no episode 15. I don't know what happened to it. It was there, I have the thumbnail for it and everything, and it's just missing. So I don't know if it maybe got deleted by accident. If that's the case, then there's not an awful lot I can do about it, because I'm quite a lot. I've pre-recorded up to, I think, episode 19 on that. But it's a thing that happened, unfortunately, so it seems like there's not going to be an episode 15 of the Valley. I may release an explanation video, a short 5-minute episode or so, explaining what happened on that series. But if you're not following that series, and there's a reason you're not following that series, then fair enough. But if you are also following that series and not just this one, then that'll be where episode 15. That's the story behind episode 15. It's MIA. We've got about half of this field left to do. Having to do it in a kind of unusual pattern so that I don't miss any, but it is what it is, as Sky Storm says. In case you don't know who Sky Storm is, I encourage you to search for him. It's a channel. He produces a lot of city building games and things like that. And yeah, he is a very good YouTuber. Quite fond of his work. I probably should spend less time promoting other people's channels, more time promoting my own, but there you go. There's very few, I have very few opportunities to actually watch YouTube as much as I used to. But I do still try and find time to watch his videos because he's very eccentric and very entertaining. I would encourage anyone to watch his videos. He doesn't do any farming simulator videos as far as I'm aware. But the other videos he does are very entertaining. He's, if I get a chance to watch YouTube, it's usually his channel that I watch. His or Conflict Nerds. Quite a big fan of Dylan as well. He's an interesting YouTuber, that one. Very outspoken. I like it. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I quite like it. You might have already heard of him. It's his channel's called Conflict Nerd. He's best known for his City Skylines videos, which segues perfectly into a shameless plug of my own channel. I plan on bringing City Skylines back to my channel now that I have my tower all set up. So if you are a fan of city building games, then keep an eye out for that. We're going to make it to the end of this row before we run out of fertilizer? No, we're not. That sucks. I'll just head back to the farm and get more liquid fertilizer. That's irritating. I'll probably just go over that a little bit again. Luckily we are right here at the farm. Looks like we're not going to get Field 31 done today though. But that's fine. Not the end of the road, we'll keep him working off camera. So, we'll start with liquid fertilizer, and just about refilling the seeder as well. It does take a second or two. This is the seed here, behind this tree here. But yeah, I love how this map has like random scrap equipment lying around. It's like a typical farm. A few texture issues, like right in front of the tractor, you see the dirt and the gravel don't really mix very well, but they're minor things. That kind of thing doesn't bother me in the slightest. Nor does the weird thing that goes on in that shed, with the shed being like a through path at one side, not at the other, and I don't bother with things like that. I mean, the map is still very picturesque anyway. I mean, those are realistic looking scenery for this area. You know, hills in the distance, but generally speaking quite, well, I say relatively flat, but well, I'm spoiled, so. I live in Glasgow. I look out my window and there's a hill in the distance. Everyone calls it a mountain. It's not a mountain, it's a speed bump that people call a mountain. It's not a proper mountain at all. But I like the scenery here. It's very... So it should be. Small hills in the distance. They're not quite mountains, but they are hills. Let's just light the area up. Helper M has completed their task. Now, that's the plough. And he's clearly not completed his task. So he's probably just stuck on a fence. But we'll deal with that later. I'm more interested in getting this field seeded. I definitely need this done today so that all of these 3 fields will all grow at exactly the same rate. So I can harvest all 3 of them at the same time. So that's obviously the whole idea. I do need to also buy a harvester. That's one thing I definitely need. I usually don't buy them until closer to harvest season, and then bad things happen. So this time I'm gonna hopefully not jinx it. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy one. So I think when I do these episodes at times 15, they tend to be around the 40-minute mark, which I don't think is too long. So it's in my window of acceptable length. I'm not sure what crop I'm going to do. I'm going to do crops in little clusters. I'll probably do barley somewhere, and obviously canola. I may even do soybeans somewhere. But I'm not sure on them yet. But I have plans for this map. I may even leave it on 9 days per season. That may be a thing I do. I do have quite a few fields that I have to work my way through, and I'm already on day 2. So if we were doing 3 days per season, I'd be in a major panic right now, because I've ploughed 4 fields out of like 9 or something. In fact, it's more than that. I think we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12 fields we have, and I've done 4 of them. So yeah, I'd be in a bit of a panic. But not to worry. We will get every single one of our purchase fields done, apart from the meadows. I'm obviously not going to plough the meadows. Not too worried about that at all. I'm going to need a lawnmower and things like that though. The temptation to buy the Cronin Big M is strong. Let me see if there's a Cronin Little M somewhere. There's bound to be. Depends how little it is though. I do like how useful the Big M is. But I just can't get over that sunset. That is a generic sunset for Farm Simulator, I believe. But still, very nice. Very picturesque. I don't like that in real life. Unless you live somewhere that I'm going to be jealous about. I'll put the beacons on because why not? Makes me feel special. Another pass or two of this field and we'll be done. And another U-turn. This is the most exciting part of Farming Simulator. Going around in circles, doing a field. It is a necessary part though. Although there is a creator tools mod thing that lets you cheat, but it's no fun. This is the whole purpose of the game. You have to manage your time and your money. Money is actually an issue, believe it or not. It might look impressive that we have 581,000, but I've still got a lot of seed to buy, a lot of fertilizer to buy, a lot of equipment to buy. I don't have any balers or forage wagons or anything like that. I've still got to get all that kind of thing. As well as tedders and windrowers, and probably upgrade the slurry tanker and all sorts of frighteningly expensive things that need to be purchased. Yeah, I may have misjudged how much I had left to do in this field. One more pass down at the bottom and we'll be done. And I know I've left a little bit in the top corner, but that's fine. I don't actually think this will be one pass, I think this might be 2. See if I can line this up right. Yeah, this is going to end up being 2, isn't it? Well, that's irritating. Still, nice big cedar. It's quicker than the other one we had. It's more than double the size of the other one we have as well. Which is definitely a good thing. The other cedar was a bit on the terrible side. So let's head back to the farm and call it a night. Seeing as it's very dark, 7:30 at night. Very dark, very spooky. I don't need all these lights on anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to park like this for tonight. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Leave me a comment if there's anything you'd like to say to me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And if you're not new around here, I say it again, thanks very much for your continued support. Bye for now.